Sup guys, Kyle with TK Speed Shop. And there's been a trending topic here lately. I'm not really one for doing trending topics or anything like that. I kind of like to, go at my own flow and work at stuff at my own pace. But this is something that I've been seeing a lot, and I use this word very loosely. And I kind of want to touch basis on it. I encountered a gentleman the other day that watches the channel, and he mentioned something, and it kind of like sprung it in my head a little bit. Let's talk about budget bills, okay? What is a budget bill? A budget bill is something that you acquire very cheaply. You acquire your parts, most of them are going to be used parts, and you kind of assemble something in a fashion to where it's already ready to go. Now, here on TK Speed Shop, we do a lot of budget-minded things. I mean, they're classified as budget bills, but you guys will literally see me take a vehicle as a shell, and we'll kind of throw something together cheaply, but that's not really a budget bill for your average person. A budget bill is a guy that got a Cutlass that already has a 350 in it. It's already running and driving, or it's like 80%, you can take it to town kind of thing. It needs some work. Taking something like that and like changing the heads out or swapping in, this is gonna sound crazy, swapping in a stock LS. Those kind of things are considered budget friendly, budget minded. When you use the word budget and LS together, they sound so good. You see so many people put so many videos on YouTube, including myself, of budget bills. Now, here's how I always broken down an LS bill. If you acquire a 4.8 or a 5.3, because those 9 times out of 10, if you're doing something budget minded, that's kind of what you're going to run with. If you retain everything and not crack a single bolt on the motor, that is considered budget. You can put that in there, and I mean, it'll still cost money and stuff like that, but Let's talk about budget and LS. Those words really don't belong together, okay? Now, let's just say, let's break it down even further. Let's go back to that Cutlass. Let's say you got a Cutlass. You want to do an LS swap, all right? Now, budget, that word is completely eliminated if you do not do the work yourself. A shop will charge you thousands of dollars because guess what? It takes thousands of dollars to actually make sure everything's done correctly, all right? So let's just say you go to a guy will come up to you and he'll be like, yeah, I can swap that for you for like, a couple $1,000s. No, he can't. I've been doing this kind of stuff for years, and even with me having an entire donor vehicle, it does not happen like that, all right? There's these small little nuance. You got swap mounts, swap pans. Guess what? The hood won't fit because you got a truck motor, so now you got to change the intake. Hey, guess what? You changed the intake, now you got to change the accessory drive. Unless you start finagling stuff, you get like a LS1 water pump with the little spacers and what have you. All right, boom. So you got your motor in there. You had to buy the little flywheel tool and stuff to bolt up to your turbo 350 or your 700 or whatever the heck you're running. Okay, cool. Let's get into detail. Detent cable. Since we're on 700R, detent cable. How are you going to hook all that stuff up to the LS? It's not going to just magically bolt up. Now you start spending money. Turbo 350. You do all this stuff, all right? Kick down cable. You got to set all that stuff up. LSs, they have steam port systems. Radiator, you got to have your radiator set up for all that. You can either buy an aftermarket radiator, which is recommended, or you can use a stock one. But if you use a stock one, you have to actually start modifying things. And it kind of snowballs. See what I'm saying? Biggest thing for these budget bills is ECUs. What kind of engine system management you're gonna run? Are you gonna run a stock 0411 PCM? Yeah, you can do that. Now you gotta pay for someone to flash it, which flash PCM. Then you gotta pay for a tune. And all the little other things that come in between. Just for that to function. Holly's $2,000. Aces is expensive. It's not as expensive as Holly, but it's expensive. Vitek. All these, you see what I'm saying? That money starts adding up. Then, did you do all that stuff? How do you get your gauges to work? Because if you got if you got like that Cutlass, all your gauges on your dash is not going to work anymore. Speed sensor, all that stuff, everything snowballs and change. So let me ask you this question again. Do you really think that guy who told you he can swap your car to an LS for $2,000, $3,000 can he really do that? He can't. I mean, for crying out loud, Dakota Digital ready to go dash systems for LS swap stuff is like $1,000, maybe $1,500, and then you still got to pay for the money to get the conversion box to swap it over, and that's an extra $200 that you got to wire into it to make sure all that stuff works. You know what? I'll just go carburet it. Okay, go carburet it. You still got to spend $500 on the MSD box. You still got to get an intake. You still got to get a carburetor. And like the name of the game changes. Fuel system, all that stuff kind of, you see what I'm saying? It's not really budget. It is, but it isn't. If you're doing the stuff yourself, you're buying a bunch of used parts, you're going to the junkyards, you're finding the deals on the marketplace, you're doing all these things and you're doing the work yourself, then yeah, you can kind of skate by and get stuff done and, not really pay a lot of money. But if you like send anything off to anybody or you want somebody to work with anything, immediately the price is just gonna shoot up. My philosophy is if I were to buy a vehicle that already had a small block in it, I would keep it a small block, me personally. Unless I have enough stuff laying around. My Yukon, for instance, my 99 OBS Yukon, it had a 350 in it, 60E combo. It already ran and drove. The ears was broke off on the block where the starter mounted up. I pulled the whole drivetrain out and stuck an LS and a 60E right back in there and all that. Why did I do that? Because I had that stuff laying around. It was really no lost income. More or less, I found a home for something. So it saved me money. It didn't save me money when I originally did all this stuff. But the later game, it saved me money. That Cutlass probably got a 305 or, well, no, not a 305, 307, or it probably got like a 350 rocket or something in it like that. Leave it alone. If you want to spruce that up, pull the motor out, put some heads on it, put an intake on it, put a bigger carb on it. The works, put a camshaft in it. That's budget-minded stuff. Only if you do it yourself. You take anything to a damn shop, it will literally, whatever you think you was going to spend, multiply that by like 3. And that's just getting your foot in the door. There's a lot of people that talk about the real things on YouTube. Willie Rebuilds is one of them. It's just people don't understand that this stuff, it can be done budgetly only if you do the legwork yourself and you're mechanically inclined to go out and get these items and do these things and do it yourself. A lot of trials and tribulations. But I just kind of wanted to rant for a minute because like I've been seeing this pop up a lot. A lot of people have been talking to me. I have a lot of people in my town personally that come to me for advice with LS stuff and asking me, can I do this? Can I do that? Here's the thing about TK, all right? TK does not work on nobody's stuff. TK works on his own stuff. This is a safe haven. This is a safe place for me to work on my things and show you guys how I go about some stuff. Now, I don't break down every single little detail, but I break down just enough to kind of get you pointed in the right direction. I'll never promote a product that I buy that is terrible. If it is terrible, I'll let you know. Just like these intakes. I did a video on these intakes. Why spend $500 for a Holley intake when you can spend $120 for the one from Amazon that's basically a Holley intake, just don't got the Holley Boss enabled on it. It's the same damn intake. They're both casted in the same place. Some stuff is going to have a little defect to it. That's the whole point of paying cheaper. You're paying cheaper things and you're going to have to modify. So for a guy like me, I can get away with spending $150 on a cheap intake that just cheap because Holley didn't want that one because it had a little bit of casting flash on it. I can die grind that myself because I have all the stuff necessary to do it. Fix it up, paint it, clean it, bada bing, bada boom, it's done. Where there's a guy who can't do that stuff and he's gonna have to spend the $500 to get the Holley intake because he's just a parts changer. You see what I'm saying? I done kind of got off track, but what I'm trying to say is the word budget is used very, very loosely, and it can be a budget thing to do yourself if you have the tools and the resources. But if you don't have any of that stuff and you shell out cash for these things, nothing, and I mean nothing, is considered budget when you have to take it to a shop and get done. This car started off as a budget bill. To me, this car still is a budget bill. I'm not even $5,000 into this car. It has a fresh coat of paint. It has a built 5.3 in it, turbo 350, stock rear end, stock drive shaft. We don't even got an interior in it. My goal is to have this car running and driving for under 10 grand. To me, a 77 Trans Am that was a shell, that's budget because this stuff's expensive. I bought a whole parts car just to get this front cap for $600. And then, got rid of the car and you make your money back, this, that, the other. Yeah. That's how you wheel and deal and keep things cheap, effective, budget friendly. But I'm rambling. I just kind of wanted to do a quick little video. I upload every other week, but every now and again, you might see me sprinkling a video week to week, and it'll be something like this, but it won't take away from the main bills of the channel. So you can expect main bill channel videos every other week. If you see a video pop up on an off week, it's me ranting or something that I've seen. I kind of want to get a little bit more familiarized with the community and do a little bit something like this with you guys. But my name's Kai, also known as TK Speed Shop. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and hit that hype feature to share this video with as many people as you possibly can. I'm about to go inside and get me something to eat. I'll see you in the next video.